What's up, guys, and welcome to the weekly Q&A. Our first question comes from Daniel Bowen, who asks why Resistance is ending on only its second season.
I mean, preface this all by saying we have no idea.
Yeah.
I guess the options are it was canceled or it was a story decision.
Yeah. The more I've been reading into like Pablo's tweets and stuff, the more I think this was just meant to be 2 seasons, because they started working on this in summer of 2017, and
the second season specifically, yeah.
Yeah, season 2. So, I mean, I think plus the story itself is leading into the movies, and maybe they just didn't want to tell more of the story of these characters after the theatrical movies.
Yeah, I was going to say I think we're going to be able to find out or speculate a little better after the season airs. We'll see how it ends, because it might end with a very solid conclusion. But I guess my gut tells me that it just wasn't performing as well as they wanted to at Celebration. I definitely didn't get the sense that season 2 was going to be the end. And for Rebels season 4, Filoni came out and he was like, I have to tell you, this is the final season and here's why.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I feel like maybe they would have said something at Celebration if that were the case. But I think that it's possible that we'll see season 2 and be like, oh, well, that was a very clear cut, this is the end and there isn't anything open-ended.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people saying stuff like, oh, well, this is just further proof that Star Wars is dead and kids don't like Star Wars. But to be honest, it's more telling, I think, of the future of television and the Disney Channel, because they gave them a 10 p.m. time slot for this kids show.
Right. And the counter argument to that I've always seen is, well, kids don't watch TV live anymore. And we don't watch TV live. We don't have cable. So I get that argument, but why not still give it all the chances it has to succeed?
Yeah.
So I think that it was, and it really hasn't been marketed all that much. It's not getting a Blu-ray release. It wasn't a big deal at Celebration.
Mm-hmm.
It had a panel, but I feel like they could have talked it up more. It was just kind of oh yeah, and there's a Resistance panel. Which, again, maybe that is kind of a sign that they knew that this was going to be the last season, and so they didn't want to, take over the main stage or something. But, yeah, I'm disappointed because I really, really did like Resistance. I went in thinking, oh, this is going to be very childish, and at times it was very childish, but I thought it was really, really well done. There was barely any filler. I liked the characters.
Yeah.
I'm sad it's ending.
Yeah, and I really liked the time period of it all, just before and then during Force Awakens, and now it's going to kind of lead into The Last Jedi and past that even. But yeah.
I guess, this is kind of what I said after Solo underperformed. The good thing about Star Wars is if their story isn't done. Clone Wars did the same thing. When Clone Wars was canceled, they started taking those unused scripts and they made comics and books, and Resistance can do the same thing. And then who knows, in a few years they'll be like, Resistance saved, and it's coming back on Disney Plus. And
I could definitely see them doing some young reader type novels about the characters of Resistance.
Yeah.
Or a comic. Rick Villanueva wants to know when we think Luke gained the title of Jedi Master and if it was given to him by the Force Ghosts.
So this is coming from the Secrets of the Jedi book that's coming out, and there were little images that they released, and yeah, Luke said that he didn't take the title of Jedi Master right away or something along those lines. And that was actually, of all places, confirmed in the Freemaker Adventures. There's a scene after the Battle of Endor where the Force-using character of that show, he's a little kid and he asks Luke to train him, and Luke's like, I'm not ready to train people yet. He's like, I'm not a Jedi Master. So yeah, I think that Luke probably took some time for himself. We've seen that in the Shattered Empire comics and the Legends of Luke Skywalker. I think he was going off and doing some exploring of the Force to learn more, because I mean, he only learned about the Force 4 years prior. Mm-hmm. He probably didn't feel ready to teach yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I think maybe when it was time for Ben Solo to start learning the ways of the Jedi, maybe that would have been around the time where he kind of just gave himself the title so that he would feel validated enough to teach students.
Right. I do think that I think it's a self-appointed title. I think he learned as much as he could, and he was like, okay, I feel ready. I'm a Jedi Master.
Yeah.
Maybe Yoda or Obi-Wan or someone were like, yeah, sure. They can give him a little pat on the back. But.
Yeah, no one else was around to really grant him the title. Plus he's like, well, you know who I am.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker. I don't know, kind of a big deal.
Kind of, just give it.
He's probably like, I'm a Jedi Master. Like, what are the ghosts gonna do? They can't do anything. And then when Yoda strikes the tree with lightning, Luke's like, oh, you could have done that. But yeah, I assume self-appointed when he felt he was ready. And I mean, he's Luke Skywalker. He's not gonna give it to himself before he's ready. I think it's valid.
Dayton Lovelock asks how Snoke was able to turn Ben Solo's mind during his training.
So this is coming from The Last Jedi novelization by Jason Fry. It sounds like Snoke had a relationship with Luke and was kind of deceiving him and helping him out. Well, like we just said, Luke was going off trying to learn about the Force. I think Snoke helped him along and was trying to get on his good side and stuff. And I don't know if they met face to face, because if you did, like, why would you ever trust that face? But maybe they were just Skyping.
Force Skyping.
Force aim. And did I just like really date ourselves? Does anyone know what aim is anymore? I'm sorry. So yeah, I think that Snoke was helping Luke. I think they knew each other. And then he was probably maybe even allowed to help teach the students or something, as long as he was giving off good enough vibes.
Yeah. I don't know. I when I first read this question, I thought it was more along the lines of like, how did it happen exactly? Like, how did Ben Solo turn? And
that we have no way of telling.
Well, to me, my first thought was, well, he didn't have a strong father figure, for a while. Sure. And, his mom was off doing stuff, so he's pretty vulnerable, I would say. Yeah,
I think so. And then it sounds like in the Bloodline book, he had no idea who his grandfather was. I'm sure that played a part into it.
Yeah.
And Snoke is probably twisting all that about, like, everyone your entire family's been lying to you, and you have so much potential. And so, yeah, I think something along those lines makes sense, but I think he had access to Ben in the first place because he was deceiving Luke.
Yeah,
that's what it seems like.
The way Han and Leia talk about Snoke in The Force Awakens, is further proof that they maybe knew him.
Oh yeah, there's some familiarity there.
Yeah.
It was Snoke. Snoke did it. And so how did they all meet? And how did he get on their good side? Because, I mean, don't judge a book by its cover and everything, but that dude's evil.
Eric Koch wants to know if John Williams should use Duel of Fates during the Rey-Kylo fight, I assume, in Episode 9, if that's what is going to happen.
Yeah.
So, recently, we heard from his brother in an interview.
That's why I chose this question.
That said, we are going to hear all of the familiar songs from all of the other films in Episode 9.
Now, that could be hyperbole.
Yeah.
But you're going to hear all the themes. It's like, well, you're probably going to hear some familiar ones. And I expect, we're going to hear some familiar ones from the prequels. Mm-hmm. At least I hope so. Duel of Fates is the most iconic one from the prequels. So it makes sense to me that we would hear, maybe not directly the chanting and everything, but if he were to work in some that makes sense.
I think if they do end up having a big fight at some point in the movie, I think Duel of Fates we might hear, but it would be cool if we heard a mashup of all the big ones.
Sure.
Kind of weaved into an original song.
I mean, John Powell did something like that during the Kessel Run, where he used the asteroid chase scene, and like he just kept pulling themes in. And Duel of Fates is used in Solo when Maul reveals himself, and it's like it's not directly Duel of Fates, but that theme is played kind of slowly, and I like that. So I don't really want to hear straight up like the exact recording that we heard before. I would like him to reinterpret them for the new era. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. Matt Wilcox asks what we think of the reports that Galaxy's Edge attendance is down.
This is kind of along the lines of like the Resistance question, where I'm like, I don't know.
It's because we don't live close to it and we're not going to it enough.
Well, like, I also just don't know if those reports are accurate. I don't know what attendance is like, what was expected. Like, we don't really pay attention to the business side of Star Wars. I'm too busy reading the books. But yeah, I don't know. I just see people like yelling about, again, like Star Wars is dead and the attendance is down and it's going to be Aladdin land now. Like, that's absurd. The best thread that I've seen on it is from Jenny Nicholson, who used to work at Disney and knows a lot about how Disney operates. And she broke it down to basically say that non-locals like us, anyone that didn't live near the park, were basically warned to stay away because of crowds. And then like everyone was afraid of crowds, so they didn't go. And I mean, to be fair, if the thing at EA Play hadn't worked out, where As a True, again, I'm going to shout him out for getting us in. He made a reservation, we got in. If that hadn't happened, we would not have gone. Like, we were going to wait until Disney World opened, and not only that, until Rise of the Resistance opened.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. Like, another big ride, a big part of the park hadn't even opened yet, and it won't open till December in Disney World and January and Disneyland. So maybe a lot of people are just waiting for the whole park to be open.
Yeah, it's like if you have to travel there and get a hotel and do all this stuff, like, why would you go twice?
Yeah.
Our plan was to wait until everything was open and then go. And it just worked out for us that we got to go at Disneyland. On top of that, I think what Jenny said was that annual pass holders weren't allowed to use their annual passes to get in. So now that, like, if attendance is lower than they expected, they could open it back up, but that would basically anger people that had annual passes but spent the money to go anyway and make a reservation, and like that'll cause this whole mess.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of factors going into this, and the idea that attendance to theme parks in general might be down.
They are. I mean, that's once I had this question, I was like, all right, I'm going to look into this a little bit. And yeah, just attendance across the board is down. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going into it, but I don't think that it's underperforming. Again, I don't know what the statistics are or what they were expecting or anything like that, but a theme park or a land or whatever you call it is not like a movie where you have your set time and it's in theaters and you have to make your money then, really. It's a long-term investment, and it's amazing. So
I feel like when the location in Disney World opens, it's going to blow up massively, because that's much more of a travel destination. Just Disney World, Orlando, Florida in general, makes way bigger numbers than Disneyland.
Yeah, you get like all the European tourists. I think Disneyland, like we saw a lot of Australian tourists. So it's like you're getting different sides of the world. But yeah, when we went almost 2 years ago to do the Secrets of the Empire thing down at Disney World, yeah, lots of European tourists there. Yeah.
It's bigger. I just think it performs better than Disneyland. I don't know. Disneyland, I don't know. A lot of locals go there a lot and get annual passes, but I don't know. Disney World just seems like it is bigger. And
we're not theme park people. We don't really know, but the idea that, you know, it hasn't gone crazy. Like when we were there, it was crowded. And I don't know what it looks like now, but yeah, the fact that it's not jammed wall to wall. I still have seen people in overflow lines for the Smuggler's Run ride. Like, I don't know. It
Also-
seems like it's doing fine to me.
Also, it's like 100 degrees right now.
That's true. It is oppressively hot.
No one wants to go to a theme park when it's this hot.
And Batu
Period.
has 3 suns, guys.
Yeah, that's what we were told when we asked about the weather.
No one wants to be there when there's 3 suns out and it's the hottest time of the year. That's it for patron questions. If you're a patron and you didn't see your question answered here, just head over to Patreon where we left you a written response. If you're not a patron, you can learn more by following the link in the description. Just $1 a month will get you access to extra Star Wars Explained content, like audio commentaries for the films. We're also doing audio commentaries for all of the Clone Wars episodes, and this week it's Duchess of Mandalore, the last one of the Mandalorian arc, so that's available right now if you're interested. Also, we wanted to talk about Dragon Con, because it's in just 2 weeks.
Woohoo.
Really crept up on us, but we are going as we go every year, and we get psyched about it every year.
Mm-hmm.
Our schedule is starting to come together. Got some exciting stuff that we just found out about this past week. On Friday, I will be moderating the panel, the Q&A with Yonasu Atamo, Chewbacca. I am so excited and nervous to do that. That's going to be Friday at 1 p.m. Saturday right now we don't have anything, so we're just going to be walking around. And then Sunday at 1 p.m. we're doing the episode 9 speculation panel with the Sky Talkers, Caitlin and Charlotte, and Thomas Harper, my trivia nemesis. And the trivia thing will be on Sunday too, I assume. And then Monday we are doing a panel with Joseph Scrimshaw, and we don't know what time that is yet. And also all of this is subject to change, but
Yeah, Dragon Con hasn't released like an official schedule yet. They usually do it on an app days before the convention starts. So, yeah, we don't really know times for meetups or anything like that yet, but we will definitely let you guys know.
yeah, we will be there. We will be filming cosplay. We'll be going to the Star Wars photo shoots if we can.
Mm-hmm.
We will host meetups, and we're just going to be wandering around partying with all the nerds. And if you see us, please come say hi. Oh, shoot, we should get some swag. Just dawned on me. We have a little left over from Celebration, but
Not
we should
much.
get some more. But yeah, if you're going to Dragon Con, please come say hi to us.
On to YouTube questions. The Bleaker asks what we imagine the future of our channel being, if we have any projects we'd like to start, and what our goals are.
It's kind of a loaded question. I mean, I still really like reviewing the new content. That's probably my favorite thing to do for this channel when a new book comes out. Just doing the reviews and doing all those Easter eggs. There's some stuff that I've been putting on the back burner. It's just much harder to produce, but I'd kind of like to do some live action, silly Robot Chicken style sketches. I have ideas for a few of those.
Mm-hmm. I think right now it's just such a slow time. Once Disney Plus comes out and the live action shows are rolling out and stuff like that, I think we'll just have a lot more to talk about, and we can bring back Between Two Suns maybe.
Yeah. We're gonna be building a new set next week. This is our temporary in Molly's office set, and next week we should have something a little cooler.
Yeah. We just got a new camera set up, so hopefully that will lead to more vlogging. And yeah, I don't know. I do want to do more kind of podcast style chit chats, which was what Between Two Suns was, kind of like a video podcast. And he's peeing.
The dog is peeing.
Cleaning up pee.
Hilo, please.
We had a little accident during the Q&A. It's okay.
My goal is to finish house training Hilo. I don't know. For growth and stuff, I don't really have any goals. I'm just going to keep making the videos I like to make, and I don't know, we'll grow or we won't.
I hope that we get to go to more conventions in the future.
Yeah, we do just kind of do a handful here and there. It would be fun to do some we never have, like New York Comic Con or even San Diego.
Yeah.
D23 sometime.
Yeah.
That one sounds like it might be important.
Robert Bruno wants to know if we think the Cassian Andor show could also give us episodes about Powell or Melfi and their missions.
I doubt we're going to get centric episodes on those characters, but I think that, yeah, they could absolutely show up.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about them, but yeah, I mean, Cassian talks about all these Black Ops characters, Powell Melfi, that dude with the huge beard.
Yeah.
Bistan is probably one of them. Like, I
Yeah.
think that a lot of those side characters could absolutely appear again.
I would love that. All those characters from Rogue One would be cool to see again.
Yeah, seeing those kind of darker missions where they're like, we have a lot to atone for. Yeah, we can kind of see what that looks like.
Yeah. MK600 asks what our D23 predictions are.
I think they're probably going to focus on Disney Plus and therefore The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I think we're finally going to get an official trailer.
I hope so.
It seems like it's about time, November.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be something that they release publicly.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That they will have a publicly released official trailer because it's September, October. It's only 3 months away.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's sufficient interest in it, I think, but that's just within the Star Wars community. They need to start building interest outside the hardcore fans.
Maybe a sizzle reel for episode 9.
I think that's also likely. They've all had like a behind the scenes, all of them but Solo. And Solo kind of had one, but like its production was so messed up, it didn't have the same kind of thing. But at Comic-Con, Force Awakens got a behind the scenes reel. Rogue One got one, I think, at Celebration. And then The Last Jedi got one, I think, at D23. So it would make sense for 9 to have not necessarily a trailer, but one of those behind the scenes things, which honestly, those are really awesome. I love all of those past ones.
Yeah.
And there have been some rumblings again. An old rumor.
Some rumors
that
that
popped back up.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's a name I've not heard in a handful of months. Because that's
a name I hear every other day.
Every so often, the rumor that Ewan McGregor is coming back to play Obi-Wan is coming back. This time it was our friend at Cinelinx, Jordan. He has had 2 sources confirm that Ewan has put pen to paper and like signed a deal. And he is a reliable person, I would say. So maybe the timing of this could be something where it's like, all right, it is officially happening now.
Yeah.
We can announce it at D23.
Some people have said that maybe that is related to episode 9, like if he comes as a Force ghost or something.
That seems like it's a little late for that.
Yeah, I agree. But they could announce an Obi-Wan show at D23 for Disney Plus.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
It's going to be, we're talking about Disney Plus and it's The Mandalorian. Maybe they're going to show some stuff about Cassian or talk about it. And then they're like, but also one last thing for Disney Plus. And then Ewan comes out.
Oh, yeah. If he came out like on stage and they like put up the title screen or something like that, people will go bananas.
Yeah. So I think those are our big predictions. Mandalorian trailer, episode 9 sizzle reel, and then our more out there guess is the announcement of the Obi-Wan Disney Plus series.
Francesco Bacchetti wants to know how Vader felt after finding out he had a daughter and if it had anything to do with his redemption.
I think he was probably a little surprised because, I mean, nobody knew that she had twins, apparently.
Yeah.
I guess the what do they call that? The ultrasounds in a galaxy far, far away aren't that great. But yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with his redemption because, I mean, he was goading Luke. He already knew that he had a son. He found out he had a daughter, and then he just started talking about bringing her to the dark side.
Yeah.
So I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think the thing that brought Vader back was when Luke had a chance to kill him and he threw his lightsaber away instead. And then he was like, wait, am I just going to sit here and let my son die after he spared my life? I think that was the act of sacrifice that Luke performed, in turn saved Vader and inspired him to actually sacrifice himself.
That pretty much sums it up. Cool Triplets 1 asks if we think Nine Nub and Lando could have scenes together in The Rise of Skywalker. Ooh. I hope so.
Yeah, I think they could. 9 is alive,
Yeah.
as you said in your question. And, I mean, yeah, I think that would be fun, especially if they got to pilot and co-pilot together.
Yeah. I want to see them high five.
It's funny, I was going to say in The Last Jedi... No, in the Poe Dameron comic, after The Last Jedi, 9 and Chewie pilot and co-pilot together, and they fist bump.
Nice.
So, yeah, like, 9 and Lando could high five or have a cool handshake or something.
Yeah. And he's gotta, Lando has to say something to make him laugh.
Yeah. That's all the time we have for questions today. If you want to leave a question for next week's video, just put it in the comments below or sign up for Patreon to join our weekly Q&A discussion and get a guaranteed written answer from me. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And as always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.